happened in the Garden of Eden? Well, let's talk about it. Well, first of all, we need to know the word replenish. That word replenish is a very interesting word to be at the very beginning of Genesis, is to replenish the earth. That means it once was. It means there was a first earth age. Number two, let's talk about in that same chapter, chapter 1, it talks about God made man. And after he made man, he made all the races, and he says it was good. And then on the seventh day, he rested. And then on the eighth, the next day, the next thing it talks about is forming Adam out of the dust of the earth. And we need to talk about that. What happened in the garden? Well, in the garden, Adam was formed, and then he needed a helpmate. He was going to be a farmer, and God took one of his ribs. What the rib means is curve. Women have more curves than men, if you haven't noticed. But also, the curve means the helix curve, the DNA, your DNA, the female DNA. God took out of Adam the female DNA and made Eve. And Eve, everything was fine, and then she laid with Satan. She was wholly seduced. She touched. She took from the tree of good and evil, and to understand that there was no apple. She didn't eat any apple. They covered their private parts. They didn't cover their mouths with fig leaves. They covered their private parts, remember. So then she was pregnant because she slept with Satan, but also she slept with Adam. And there was two babies in her. And that's fraternal twins, not identical twins. Even today, a woman could have twins and be two different fathers. Check with science to make sure I'm right. And the first one born was Cain. That was Satan's son. And then Abel was born. Cain is the start of the Kenites of this what's on the world, on the earth right now. They're the ones that cause all the problems in the world. A lot of them anyhow. And the Kenites are talked about in many places in the Bible, but there's only two churches in the Revelations, in Revelations 2 and 3, that taught those seven churches. There's only two of those churches God's has no problem with. And that's the Church of Smyrna and the Church of Philadelphia. And why is that? They both teach who the Kenites are. Okay, so what happened in the garden was later, if you look in chapter 5, you'll look that in Adam's genealogy, Cain's not there because he's not Adam's son. That proves that. And he is Satan's son. And to understand that is very important because through time, that's what Satan was trying to do, mess up the lineage of Christ. Because through Adam and Eve, Cain killed Abel, then they had another son, Seth, and through Seth, Jesus Christ would come, be the Savior of the world. And Eve is the mother of all living, is because through her, Jesus Christ would come through, and we'd all be saved. We'd be with everlasting life. So there you have basics of the garden, and it's very important to know that information, because if you don't have that information, you're not going to understand the whole Bible correctly. So there you have it, and I hope that was helpful, and I hope I didn't forget anything, and I'll be back soon.